how do you actually make a physical backup of your Bitcoin seed phrase? A very popular option is to stamp the seed phrase into metal washers or any type of metal. This is preferable to writing it down on a piece of paper because piece of paper can, uh, it's more susceptible to the elements. It can catch fire. It can become soggy and deteriorate from water damage. So how do you actually go about doing this the right way? So first thing you need to buy is a metal stamping kit. You can get them for about $30. And an entire kit will come with a few things. It's going to come with a hammer, a jig, which is used for holding the stamp in place. And by stamp, I mean the metal stamp there in that image, the vertical stamp. And then a stamping plate. So it comes with all of those things that you need in order to properly stamp some metal. This is just an example of one. I'm not suggesting to buy this one. This is one you could buy. And this is the end result we're aiming for right here, okay? This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get some washers. We want to stamp our seed phrase on it, and then we're going to store it. And that's going to be one of our physical backups. You can make as many physical backups as you think is appropriate. Maybe you're using multi-sig or just single sig, so it's going to be completely up to you. But aside from this metal stamping kit, a few things we need are everything you see in this picture. So go to your local hardware store, walk inside, go to the aisle where the screws and nuts are, and get some of these washers. They need to be stainless steel. Then you also want to get some screws, and the screws have to be long enough for you to fit 12 washers on them. And then get a nut that you can screw on the end to lock them in. So estimated cost for all of this is $29 for the stamping kit, and for all the metal, washers, screws, and nuts, less than $5. Total is about $34. Now, that's all you need in order to just have some washers that you can stamp words into, okay? And what's great is there's somewhat of a bigger upfront cost for these items, like the stamping kit, but once you have it, you can make backups for other wallets, make backups for your friends and your family. I'm not suggesting you do this, but once you're done with it, you can just return it to Amazon if you have Amazon Prime. But if you want to take it another step further and really make sure that your backup is secured properly, you can buy a couple more things. Before I show you what those things are, when you buy washers, you want to make sure that the surface is wide enough for the stamp to hit. So after you buy the stamping kit and you receive it, go to your hardware store, bring one of the stamps, and then hold it and compare it against various washers and make sure that there's enough space on the washer, because if the surface is too small, if the surface area is not big enough, when you start stamping, it's going to be hard to keep the letters completely on the washer. You're going to hit the stamp and the washer is going to shift and the stamp will not go exactly onto the metal. The letter of the stamp, the letter of your seed word will be falling off of the washer. And our goal should be to make the letters as clear and as crisp as possible, because we need to be able to read it at some point in the future. If we ever need to use this backup and refer to our seed phrase, if we forget it, we need to be able to read what it is. So we want to make sure that the letters are stamped nice and clean. They're on the metal, not halfway off of them. Also want to make sure that we're hitting it hard enough to make deep indentation in the metal. That also goes back to the stamping kit and making sure that the stamps are big enough for that. So some additional things you want to do on top of the washers. We want to make sure that this thing can last through a nuclear bomb, right? Or close to it. So after you get your washers, you put them on the screw, secure them with a nut on the end. Then you can buy one of these, a metal pill box. So these things are airtight and waterproof, and you can just drop your backup into that, drop your washers into that. That's going to protect your seed phrase from any water damage or any other environmental damage. Not everything though. So on top of that, and you could take it even another step further, you could put that inside of a fireproof bag. This is by no means the cheapest or best one, just an image I got from the internet. Do your own research. You probably want something smaller than this, but you can put that metal pillbox inside of a fireproof bag. So that way it's theoretically protected from water and from fire. And that should last you, your whole life, hopefully. And just remember that if you think any of this sounds too far-fetched or too paranoid, a lot of people put their entire life savings into Bitcoin and they want to create generational wealth and pass it down to their kids. So taking these extra steps are not too crazy. That's pretty much it. And the total cost for everything is going to be about $59 for all of this, okay? And remember that this is a bigger upfront cost, but you can make more backups for your family, for your friends, for yourself. And also, this is far, far cheaper than buying any of the like Bitcoin seed stamping like metal kits that you find online. Those are like $150, $200. It comes with a big sheet of metal. It's bulky. This is like dirt cheap compared to that. Washers are so cheap. They're like pennies, right? They're less than $1 for a bunch of washers. So this is the cheaper route. Do it yourself. That's pretty much it. And last thing that you need to know when you're stamping your seed phrase, you only need to stamp the first 4 letters of each seed word. And that is because there are no 2 seed words that have the same that have the same first 4 letters. So 4 letters, and that word, you can identify it. It's unique. And that's because the word list that the seed words come from, it's a list of 2,048 words. It's called the BIP39 word list. You can actually look this up and see all of the possible words. So that's another tip for you. But this is probably one of the easiest and cheapest and most secure ways to create a physical backup of your seed phrase. Just let me know if you have any questions, or maybe you have a better idea and I can make a video about it.